Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I'm Jim Punzenberger, your host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate leads and appointments without cold calling or ad spend, check out managedprospectingsystem.com, all one word, managedprospectingsystem.com. Today, I have with me a wonderful guest. I've been very excited about having him on. His name is Adam Dunhill, and he is the CEO of YesData. Adam, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company, please?
Hi, everybody. My company originally was a company called Hugo Dunhill Mailing List. We were a data compiler of the very basic nature, mostly B2B. We felt that the world of data really revolves around an individual versus a company. And so we were very people-centric versus company-centric. Like a D&B database is a very company-centric database. I sold that company many years ago, or about 7 or 8 years ago, to the owner of Info Group, or Info USA. Worked there for a couple of years and then said, what can I do that's better? What can I build that's better? And I started a company called YesData. YesData's primary concern is people, contacts. Accurate titles, accurate email addresses, and that was the beginnings or the essence of YesData. And as a data source, we started to realize that LinkedIn is probably the single greatest B2B database on earth. One of its key attributes is that it updates by itself, meaning if you have a LinkedIn profile and you leave a company, you would go to your LinkedIn account, just like you would if you moved addresses, and update your information. And that is worth its weight in gold. So that's the basis for YesData, the basis for the database that we built. Do you have any questions? Any place?
Well, I guess before we get into YesData itself, what's any interesting facts about you outside of work?
Outside of work?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, tons. I have 4 fabulous children, 2 dogs, a lovely wife. I kite sail. It's maybe the thing that brings me the greatest happiness other than watching my kids progress through life. I grew up in New York City and work and live in a place called Pelham, New York. Kind of a regular guy. I like work. I like Friday afternoons better, but who doesn't?
Yeah. Cool. So tell us a little bit more. I guess the question is, what would you say is your superpower when it comes to business, and how can others learn from that?
That's a big question. That's a great question. My superpower, I think it's helping people figure out who their next customer is. I can have the greatest database in the world. I can have the most terrific platform to deliver that data. But if you and I can't figure out who you need to reach, then it really doesn't matter. The rest of that, your marketing, all the content that you're going to be building, if we can't help you find the right person, so that's my superpower. Helping you
finding the right person. So finding your next customer and how does one go about doing that?
There are lots of ways. I would say the easiest way is to look at your existing database, who you've done business with before, and create a profile, or so create homogeneous traits about that person and or that company. What industries they're in, what titles do they have? Are they big companies, little companies? Is there something unique that sets them apart that is less known? Their desire or interest in some particular category or thing in the world out there. I would say that I'm, for the most part, a B2B database person. So my strengths are helping businesses find businesses to do business with. Um,
So, got it. So what's important when you're looking? So if I'm a business to business, such as like an IT company, and I'm looking for other uh, businesses to do business with. I'm looking to grow. I'm looking for new clients. What's important when I going about the process of looking for new clients? Or
I would say you have to find out what is the pain point of your customer. So when I say who's your customer, I don't just mean, oh, it's the VP of IT. What is that person's problem? And how does your product help them solve their problem? So if you can't solve someone's problem, I don't know if you matter. Your title doesn't matter. Your company doesn't matter. What matters is what matters to them. And what matters to them is a pain point that they have in their lives as a business person. And so you have to speak to that and find that out, and then use that as a guidepost.
so I have to determine what their pain point is and speak to them about that.
So bring up your example again. You said IT. Go
Yes.
ahead.
Yeah. I'm an IT company. I do IT support for other companies, and uh, I'm looking for more clients.
Okay, so if I were diagnosing for you particularly, what I would say is, uh, what size company needs a person or company like yours? So is it a company with 10 to 20 employees, meaning they don't have a dedicated IT staff, perhaps? Is it a type of company, for instance, that needs certain infrastructure, and the basis of that infrastructure are things that you can help bring to the table? So it might be companies that are data centric, but they don't have a large database, so you're going to connect them with AWS. Or is it somebody that uses a lot of SaaS programs, but they're not personalized or structured or customized enough for that business? So that's your process, right, of determining
Uh-huh.
what is my
So
customer's primary problem and how do I solve it.
yeah, so let's say that my ideal customer is one that is small, doesn't have IT staff, so they probably have 30 employees in the company, and we're going to be their IT department. For that, will be when they become our client, we become their IT department, so to speak.
So what comes to mind as you're saying that is that LinkedIn has this fabulous little sort of side functionality. I don't say a lot of people know about it, but you can, within LinkedIn, look at a company by department and find out whether or not they have growth or employees in that department. So let's say, as I were to fill in the blanks for you, that you looked at companies from 10 to 20 or 10 to 50 employees or something like that.
Hmm.
And in those companies, we were able to isolate those companies that had no IT staff, no titles related to IT. To me, if they have an IT problem, there's no one there to solve that problem. And that brings up you. So to me, I would think that would be the first place that I would go to help you in uncovering who you could reach. I would then kind of push you to look into your existing customer base and try and find an industry. So by the very nature of certain industries like medical or maybe architectural, they're probably not thinking about that, right? The owner of an architectural firm is someone who loves architecture, and that's why they're in business. They could care less about PCs and connectivity and internet.
Right.
And so that might be a very good place for you to go, and to sort of almost be their hero, because they don't have intuitively that data set as a part of their being a business owner.
Got it. So what other tips would you have to about finding my next ideal client?
Well, I think that assumptions can be very dangerous. So don't make too many assumptions about who you're trying to reach or who the best person is, which means put several irons in the fire. So if you're testing 4 or 5 different ideas, that's great. If you're testing one and that fails, you feel like a failure. But if you test 4 different ideas and 3 are failures and 1's a success, you have something to go back to. So I would say you have to use a varied approach. You can't make any major assumptions about what you are or aren't doing. That would be a fabulous place for you to sort of broaden your success rate. Another place is very often your customers are hidden right underneath your seat. And by that, I mean they're in old customers that you have forgotten, that you have forsaken, that are buried in a database or an Excel spreadsheet someplace. And it seems daunting to make use of them and to get access to them. But for a guy like me, that's easy. That's like toasting, toasting white toast. It's easy. Although for some of my children, maybe not so easy. That would be burnt toast.
So utilize your contacts that have gone, or the people that you maybe haven't contacted recently, that you've done business with in the past or have reached out to you in the past. Start with communicating with those people.
Sure. How about your LinkedIn connections? So you've been sitting there adding LinkedIn connections for the better part of your life, and do you have any idea what they think about your company? Do you communicate with them? Do you talk to them? Do you make posts on LinkedIn? There's a database sitting there of people that know you, that at some point trusted you, and perhaps at this moment in your life also need your services. You connected them with them for a reason, and they connected with you for a reason, and perhaps that reason is still valid, and perhaps it's a business reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if we're talking about the average business owner here, or executive, the average guy has been using LinkedIn, been on LinkedIn for now probably 10 years, but doesn't really do anything with it other than connect with people.
Exactly. So what is that connection worth? And the answer is at that moment, close to nothing. But leverage that connection, communicate with them. We can also, because we're a data company, we can help you use those connections and build an actionable database from those connections.
Cool. Got it. Okay. And so what other anything else that I should know about when I'm looking to add new clients?
Well, there's always kind of a third party networking prospecting that you can take place. And so the question is, what person do you share a relationship with that your customer might share a relationship with? So this is going to sound a little far-fetched, but this is off the top of my head. Everybody has an accountant, right, in their business.
Right.
Does that accountant need technical help, or does that accountant have the ear of your customer? And I don't know if that's a good example, but it's good enough. You can at least understand the idea. So the understanding is, how can you triangulate people that you might know and who they might know, and you both share the same customer, and so you help them by helping their customer, and that helps them and it helps you. It's kind of a win-win. I think it's a little harder to sometimes set up a marketing campaign that is designed to go after that type of relationship, but it can be very effective.
So somebody that's already doing business with your ideal prospects, and so it'd be he has his clients would be ideal prospects for you.
Yeah. So if you were to put into make an example out of it, let's say that in your town there's an accounting firm, and you were to approach that accounting firm and say, hey, do your customers have technical problems? Do they have issues that need to be resolved? And if so, is there some way that you would be willing to introduce me? And I think the reason why that's so powerful is it's 2 birds with 1 stone, right? You call one accounting firm, and if you can get them to bite on that, they might have 20 people or 10 people or 50 people that might be interested in your service. Now, maybe they don't want to make that connection, but it's a very valuable resource when you make that connection with a company.
Got it. Okay. Before we wrap up here, do you have any closing remarks?
There's always an avenue for success. There is always an avenue for you to get from point A to point B. Very often, the biggest problem I see with businesses that are having trouble prospecting is that they've been walking around in the forest and they've been looking down at the ground and they forget to look up. And then once you look up, you see how beautiful it is and how the leaves are and the trees. And I think in business we do that. We slog through our prospecting and our marketing, and we get caught up in the minutia of things. And raise up your head and start to know that there's success for you. And that's almost half the battle, is knowing that you can get where you need to go to. You need the right partners and you need the right infrastructure, and then you can get there. So I would say that would be my parting remark.
Great. Yeah. And if somebody would want to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
My email is adunhill@YesData.com. And if you have any specific questions, I'm always available at phone, 914-336-2323.
Great. Well, thank you for your time here today, Adam.
My pleasure.
Wonderful. And until next time on the Profits of IT, I'm Jim Punzenberger, the host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate leads and/or appointments without cold calling or ad spend, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. And bye for now.
Bye, everybody. Adam Dunhill saying cheers.
Thank you for tuning in to the Profits of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.